Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. I welcome you once again to my channel, Native English with Passionate. So, if you are here for the first time, don't forget to subscribe. And you are a lover of English, don't forget to subscribe to this channel. So, because here, basically, what we do is to learn English, to improve how to improve on your English daily. That's what we actually do here. That is what this channel is meant for. So today we are going to be talking about 10 different grammar questions that every fluent speakers understand. Okay, so let's get into it. Question 1. Which word is missing from this sentence? Dash Yusuf to resign. Who would replace him? Dash, I give you 5 seconds to answer. Okay, the timer starts counting. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So, what's the answer? Were Yusuf to resign? Who would replace him? Well, this is an inverted conditional. In second conditional sentences, we can remove if and use the structure were plus subject plus to infinitive. So, when we talk of conditionals, so we have 4 types of conditionals. We have the zero conditional, we have the first conditional, we have the second conditional, and we have the third conditionals. Though we may have a combination of both as well in a sentence. Okay, let me give you an example of each one of them. So let's take a look at the zero conditional first. If you say, if you boil water to 100 degrees Celsius, if you heat water to 100 degrees Celsius, it boils. What type of conditional is that? That's first conditional. The zero conditional talks about a fact. So what no one can deny is a general fact. So, and example of such is that if you say, if it rains, the grasses sprouts. If it rains, grasses sprouts. So that we know is a general fact that we already know. So, and that is for zero conditional. The first conditional, I've given you examples, and that note that both the zero conditional and the first conditional, they make use of simple present. So they make use of the simple present tense. So now let's move to second conditional. If you say, if you travel, I will give you a gift. I will give you a gift. So, if you look at the condition, so which is if you travel, so that also makes use of the simple present, the present tense. So, and you now say, I will give you a gift. So the word will is that auxiliary verb will is what differentiates the first conditional to the second conditional. So in the second conditional, you make use of will in the present tense. So while in the second conditional, so you make use of would, the past tense of would, and that instead of the simple present in the condition, so you also change that to past tense as well. So you say, if I were you, I would travel the world. Or if I were rich, I would travel the world. So, but if I were rich. So that is also the second conditional the uses is for something that is not is unrealistic. If I were rich, I'm not rich. So I wouldn't I wouldn't travel the world because to do that it requires a lot of fun, right? So that's that about conditional. Now when we talk of inversion of conditionals usually is for three of those four conditionals that we just mentioned. So the first, you can only invert the first conditional, the second conditional, and the third conditional. You can't invert the zero conditional. Okay, the one we said is used for expression of general fact. Okay, so now if you were to invert, now you change the order. If instead of you saying Yusuf, Yusuf were to resign, Yusuf were to resign. So who would replace him? So then you now say, were Yusuf to resign, who would replace him? Okay, hope you get that. So then question 2, where is the mistake? Ahmed or myself will lead the meeting today. Ahmed or myself will lead the meeting today. So can you point out the mistake? I give you 5 seconds. The timer starts counting. Okay, it's time. What is the answer? Ahmed or I will lead the meeting today. Remember, we use reflexive pronouns like myself as the object of a sentence when the subject and the object refer to the same person. You've all learned about, under the parts of speech, you've learned about pronouns and the types of pronouns. We know generally that pronouns are words used to replace a noun of a person, the name of a person, thing, or place. So when you now talk about the types of noun, we have different types. We have the proper pronoun. We have, can you mention the type? Reflexive pronoun. We have the relative pronoun. We have the what other types do we have? So we have the so I've so now, but let's just mention the one we are concerned about now. Reflexive pronoun are pronouns that are used when you refer the object of a sentence is referring back to the same person or thing. I'll give you an example. I did the job myself. I did the job myself. So the word myself is referring back to the subject I. Abdurrahman did the work himself. So the himself, instead of saying Abdurrahman, so or the himself is referring back to Abdurrahman. So that is a pronoun. Instead of mentioning the name again, we use myself to replace Abdurrahman. Now that's for the object position. But if the pronoun, the reflexive pronoun is found in the subject position, this you say. So Ahmed or I. Because we are in the subject position, you must use a subject pronoun. We have subject pronoun and we also have object pronoun. So Abdurrahman or I will lead the meeting today. Hope you get that. Question 3. Join these sentences together using the word not only and but. He didn't only wear mismatched socks. He also forgot to brush his teeth. So now, join the sentences together. This we come to conjunction, right? So and we have, you all know the types of conjunctions that we have. We have the subordinate conjunction, we have the coordinate conjunction, and we have the correlating conjunction. So what type is this? And you should you should give me the answer. I give you 5 seconds. So now, not only did he wear mismatched socks, but he also forgot to brush his teeth. So now an inversion with a negative adverbial. right? So you know what we mean by adverbials when you have this combination of adverbs, when you have phrases, adverbs joined with other things. So we have it may refer to adjectival clause or adverbial clause or adverbial phrase. So now, not only did he wear mismatched socks, but he also forgot to brush his teeth. So you try to learn further for other types of correlating conjunction. You know, correlating conjunctions, these are conjunctions that are used in pairs. When you use a conjunction, you know, you combine two types of conjunctions. Hold on. So you combine two types of conjunctions together. So conjunction that cannot be using alone. For example, not I've given you one, not only and but. You can't separate them. You can't use not only in a sentence without using the but in the same sentence. You know, we have two types of sentences. We have the independent sentence, that is where you use not only. So, and you have dependent clause, so which where we use the but. Okay. So other example of coordinating conjunctions are and or, both and, either or, neither or. So and the rest of it is no sooner than, no sooner than. So those are the examples, various examples of uh, correlating conjunctions. So we move to question 4. So choose the correct verb to fill the gap. The crowd dash getting restless is, what's the answer? Is it is or are? So I'll give you 5 seconds as well. Now, the crowd is or are getting restless. Both answers are correct. What do I mean? Crowd is a collective noun, and collective noun refers to a group of people or things as one. So when you have, we have, the various types of noun. We have the collective, we have the common, we have the proper noun, and the rest. So now we are concerned with collective noun, and now you know the meaning of collective noun. So example is crowd. Crowd is when you have a group of people together in an who come together in a disorganized manner. So we call them crowd. So let's say an incident should happen and people just gather from different areas of the place. So they are not going to be this. You can't find a rule or any proper arrangement of people in such a manner. Then we refer them to as crowd. So the crowd as a collective now you can either choose a singular or a plural. So both goes, but one is more correct than the other. So if you are a lover of British English, so then you say saying is more correct because the British people are the ones they will usually use is for collective noun. So for a collective noun, okay. So collective noun in British English, you can either choose to use the singular or the plural. You can say the crowd is or the crowd are, but as in the case of American English, you use singular. You can't use if you speak in American or you find yourself amidst of the you find yourself amidst of people from the United States, you say the crowd is. If you say are, so that means you have committed a blunder to them. Now we are halfway through the lesson, so I hope you are getting through and you are having a good score. Hope you haven't missed too much. So now choose lay or lie to complete the sentence. Every evening, I like to dash in my hammock and look at the stars. Sentence 2. Please dash the dress on the bed. Now, what is the answer? Choose either lay or lie. What's the answer? Every evening, I like to lie in my hammock and look at the stars. Please lay the dress on the bed. What's the difference? Lie. When you use the word lie, it's for when you put yourself in an horizontal position. So you use lie to put a person when somebody or something, you know, you place it in an horizontal position. You use lie. But lay, when you put lay is for a person. When you put yourself in an horizontal position, you said lie. But when you put something in an horizontal position, you use lay. Please lay the bed. That's why you lay the bed, not lay the dress on the bed. Lay, go and lay the bed sheet. If you are commanding your child to to arrange the room, you are saying lay the bed on the lay the dress, lay the bed sheet or bedspread as you call it. So question 6. How would you complete this sentence? It was dash historic day for the country. Is it a or an? Let's look at the answer. Let's check out the answer. It was an historic day for the country. When you use a, the word a, it was both are correct again. You can decide to use it was a historic day for the country, or you say it was an historic day for the country. However, if you are writing, it is most preferable to use an. It was an historic day for the country. That's what you find in a written. So, but when you there are some accents that tends to drop the letter, the sound H. So when you have such an accent, you say it was a historic day for the country. I hope you are getting that. We all know, you've all learned the general rule that when you have a consonant sound start beginning a word, so you use the determinal a. But when you have a vowel, you use the determinal an, and that's where you have an egg, a boy, an egg. Okay, so historic starts with the consonant H. A historic use is commonly used when writing, while an historic is used in often in if I've mentioned earlier that when you drop the sound H, you can say an historic. Question 7. Which sentence is correct? To whom does this jacket belong? Who does this jacket belong? Guess the answer. Both are correct. You might be wondering, why is this tutor gathering correct, both correct sentences? So that's for your awareness, to let you know, in case you see somebody who writes that way, you won't be surprised, you won't be amazed. So when we have a preposition like to, we use whom in a relative clause, and this word should be go at the beginning of the clause. Okay, so to whom, and that's why you see in most official letter, because most formal letter, so you find to whom it may concern. So because the word whom is tends to be more formal, even though who is the one that is most common. That's what you hear people saying. Okay. So question 8. Which word can you add to show that this is a habit? Our neighbor dash play heavy metal all night long. Tell me the answer. What is it? Our neighbor will play heavy metal all night long. So when you have people generally think that will is only used for future tense. No, future event. No, you can also use it for present present thing. It's something that is something that you do regularly. habit. So you use will. So when you have will, you say our neighbor will play heavy metal all night long. So that means they usually do it. That's what they do often and often again. So question 9, which sentence is correct? It took me a long time to get the flu over. It took me a long time to get over the flu. So I've even put the answer before you talk. So the second sentence is the most correct because when you have when you have the phrasal verb get over is a non-separable. You can't separate it. There are some phrasal verb. In fact, that is what when you have phrasal verbs, it's, you sound more natural when you put an object in between the phrasal, the verb and the particle. You know, phrasal verbs consist of two things. We have the verb and the particle. So when you put an object in between, you sound more natural, you sound more, more fluent. So but as for this, there are some phrasal verbs that are non-separable. So and this get over is an example of such. So get over, what's the meaning? It means you are recovering. It took me a long time to not, not me and not you. So to get over the flu is a, is a disease, is a sickness. So to recover from the flu. Now, question, are we going back? This is question 9, and I'm still seeing question 7 again. So it's meant to be question 10. Yes, my apologies. So this is meant to be question 10. So which of these sentences is punctuated correctly? At the fair, I ate a toffee apple, brandy snap, and candy floss. At the fair, I ate a toffee apple, brandy snap, and candy floss. So if you look at the sentence, the second sentence, it has a comma. Before the and, you have a comma, and that comma is called Oxford comma. So when you have it, which is more correct? So when you speak in, the Americans, they often put it. But if you are a lover of the British English, then say not putting the comma, the Oxford comma is, sounds more correct. So this is all we have for today. Thank you very much for watching. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, don't forget to do native English with passionate. So I see you soon. Ma salam.